Captain's Log, episode 101. This episode of the Beervengers podcast is sponsored by the Beer and Cheese Collective, located at 35-11 Ditmars Boulevard in Astoria, Queens. Enjoy their eclectic array of craft beer, artisanal cheeses, and specialty grocery items at the Beer and Cheese Collective, home bar to yours truly, Captain Porter Brown Stout. On this installment, Captain Huck and Beer Wonder return after a lengthy hiatus with an epic 6-pour show. We discuss where we've been, what we've been up to, engage in a little inebriated philosophizing, and even reveal a few secrets. So basically, aside from the pause, a typical episode. Remember to like, star, and subscribe whenever that feels appropriate. And send us your emails at thebeervengers@gmail.com if you have any questions, suggestions, or if you just like hearing us talk about you on the show. And now, without further ado, please enjoy episode 101, Return of the Beervengers.
Oh, with a Beervengers, Beervengers, Beervengers. We're the Beervengers.
Welcome to the Beercast, everyone. Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Astoria, Queens, I am Captain Porter Brown Stout.
And coming to you from an undisclosed location in Fresno, California, this is the Pale Male Hophead Huck.
And coming to you from an undisclosed location in the County of Kings, it is I, the Beer Wonder!
And we are...
Za.
Hey, we're back. We're back, and
good.
I don't think we've missed a step.
No.
Not yet.
You
No.
can't out-venture the Beervengers, I'm afraid.
Yeah. No, I didn't look at my script or anything as if I ever had a script, but just fell right back into it. It's been about 8 months. How you been out there? How have you guys been?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Living that good beer life
Mm-hmm.
out here in the Central Valley for sure. Got some
know.
beautiful beers to share today. Beer.
Yes, yeah. I imagine we've all had a lot of undocumented beers in the last 8 months or so.
I would
Hopefully
imagine.
they won't get deported.
I wish I was a better documenter
Yeah,
of my beers. I'm
you're-
pretty good, but I miss a lot.
The captain is at like expert level with the Untapped, but I don't think.
Well, yes,
you
that
or
was
I
where
are
my
not gonna
that's where my
really come up
closest
to
to my thorough documentation is. Although I've had a couple beers the last couple of days that were kind of unique that I didn't get around to documenting. So, it happens.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, well, I'm not about just photographs. That's all. I just want to although I have I go to holiday family gatherings, and the only pictures I take are of my beers.
Yeah, when I go through my
We had a good time. We had a great
what do they
beers.
call that? Your photo roll, your camera roll.
Yes, my
I know
camera
that-
roll.
It's mostly here's your year in review. It's mostly pictures of beer.
Yeah.
That's as it should be, though, because those are the memories that you cherish, right, Captain?
Absolutely. And speaking of pictures of beer, I think it's time we started taking some pictures of beer right now. In fact,
Oh my
opening
gosh.
beers. Isn't it time for the pours?
I'm thirsty. It's been a minute.
I mean, yeah, we've been
Yeah.
talking for almost 3 minutes here, and we
No.
have empty glasses.
Yeah, I
We
know.
need a soundbite for the pours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we have. So you mean just to get them started? I don't. What would
Yeah,
that
or
be?
it could be misinterpreted. The pours.
Yeah.
Screw the pours.
Well, yes. Now,
What'd you
unscrew the
say?
pours. No, unscrew and then
Screw
pour.
the pores.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, with all the
Uncap
cans
the
these days.
pours.
Well, I
Can the
mean, really,
pours. Yeah.
most people are or if you don't. I mean, when was the last time we were drinking screw tops, y'all?
Screw tops.
Screw it. No, you know what? I have.
I think
not
most
had
of
a
the screw top I
in a
have
long
these days
time.
are wine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it works, and it's easier, and you don't have to fiddle with your wine key. No,
Wine screw
I
tops are in. Yeah.
I have a bottle today, and I had to go digging for my bottle opener to make sure I opened it
Ooh, you got a
appropriately.
bottle. That's
I
exciting.
know.
Very
I know,
nice.
Let's get it started.
Yeah.
You want to just do the bottle? since we mentioned it already.
I mean, if we're gonna go with that kind of thing, I figured we were gonna. I mean, I guess after 100 episodes, have we figured out politeness at this point?
Well, I was going to ask Beer Wonder
I'm
which to
so
choose, but I'm
impressed.
going to go with Huck. I think maybe yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I'm
Why
honored
not?
to be bringing us back for 101. Beer 101, I feel like, is
Beer
what
101,
today is,
yes.
right?
Episode 101,
Well,
Beer 101.
Oh,
yeah.
that's good. It's the titles right there. Yeah.
look, you're welcome. But here's the thing, and this is going to shock absolutely everyone. They're not expecting it. 8 months off, and they've forgotten everything, because today I am very pleased to be drinking a
Sponsored pour.
Oh, that's right, a sponsored pour, yes. Even 8 months later, the Beer and Cheese Collective is still thriving, 10 years plus,
10
and they're
years,
still
yeah.
our willing sponsor. Yeah, we had that a great anniversary party that we didn't cover last year. Well, there, you can
Yeah,
see
well,
it on Instagram.
Yeah, well, the provider definitely provided on this one, and here's the thing: it is we're approaching like mid-January already.
Sure.
It's definitely not a dry January,
No.
or even a moist or a damp one, depending on how you go after it. But clearly, the provider wanted to keep the holidays kicking a little bit longer, because today she has provided me with the Southern Tier Brewing Company's Double Xmas Spiced Double Ale in a
Very
beautiful
nice.
bottle. Look at that. I know,
Oh,
super
yeah.
pretty. It says all brewed with orange peels, ginger root, cardamom, cinnamon, fig paste, and cloves.
There
So
you
I'm excited
go.
for that fig.
I don't remember there being fig paste in there. Yeah, that used to be
I
one of
know.
my favorites. Yeah.
I know.
There's
And I'm
a nice
using
little
a
hiss.
snowman bottle opener to open it, just to keep the real holiday
Excellent.
joy going on there.
Those can be a challenge to get working. I'm impressed.
They can, yeah. The snowman's little broom sometimes digs into your palm, and
Yeah.
that's the end of that.
It's
Anyway,
not
let's see
ideal.
what we got here.
Oh, you've seen that amber color right away.
Oh, yeah.
Almost
Mhm.
plummy color.
Yes, almost plummy. It almost is the color of a fig. Almost.
There you go.
Yeah.
Almost.
Figgy color.
Hold that up.
Figtastic.
Let's see that. Oh, very nice. Excellent.
There's the good.
Southern
And I
Tier
can-
to Xmas.
And I can smell something that smells like figs already.
All right.
Yes.
So,
All right.
all right.
All right.
Well,
Let's get to
I
the
have
next one
done the
then.
honors just to kick this thing off, gentlemen. Who's
Yeah.
going next?
What do you think, Huck?
Are we being too polite now?
I think you
Maybe
are.
we are. Yeah.
I've
All
trained
right.
you too well.
Yeah, you go
Well,
ahead.
why don't you? Yeah. I will then. I will go
Please.
ahead, and not surprisingly, I also have a
Sponsored pour.
sponsor pour.
No way.
When I went over and caught these beers from the provider, you actually can see all 4 of our sponsored pours on our Instagram page. But this
And
is
what is that Instagram page? I'm sorry. What is that Instagram page again?
well, it's got that @ symbol, and then it's got
Yep.
the Beervengers.
Okay, good. Just checking.
and,
Just checking. I forgot
and-
after 8 months.
And we're still on Twitter, but I deleted it from my phone, so don't even
Nope.
bother with that shit.
We don't talk about X.
Yeah, I don't. I care about them so little that I've not even bothered to delete our account. But anyway, so this is from a brewery we featured before, talked about a lot before from some various tasting festivals. This is from Harlem Brewing,
Oh, yeah.
and this is from their Heritage Series, and the name of the beer is Queen Stout.
Oh,
Ooh, I
cool.
dig it.
Yeah,
Gorgeous
Queen
can
Stout.
art, too.
really is. This is a stout
Mhm.
brewed with chocolate, coffee, and cinnamon, and it looks like they are currently brewing in Garnerville, New York. And I'm going to ask Huck. You're always good at the googling. See, no, never mind. I found this here. It's 8% ABV.
Good.
Nice.
So a nice, good, sturdy stout there. And let's see if I can. There we are. Pry that open. Ooh,
Ooh.
jumping out of the can.
Crack
And
a rib.
you can already see there's a little bit there on the edge of the glass.
Yes,
Uh,
it
all
wants to
right.
get into that. It wants to get into that glass.
It really does.
Ooh, good brown color from where I am. I'm having a little trouble with the lighting on this one, but it's got a nice sort of thick head.
Really healthy
Real
head.
small bubbles, nice and brown. Oh no, it's sort of a dark. It
It is.
isn't as viscous as I would expect from a beer for you, to be totally honest.
Well, that's true, but again, it's only an 8%. It's
Yeah.
it's not like it's a heavy imperial stout, but it's definitely
Right.
as high as your average what you'd call the foreign export stout.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there we go. Now I want to see what Huck has.
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess I wanted you to go first because I'm taking a page out of the captain's book today.
Oh.
And what's great is you guys got sponsored pours I'm not in New York. That's the only reason I don't get
Yeah.
them. But it's fun. It's so much fun for me to go and buy podcast beers. Like I haven't done it
Yeah.
since May. And so I went to Out of the Barrel here in Fresno, a little bottle shop, great place, which I don't think I brought you guys to.
Mhm.
And
I
I
think
got
you
this
might have.
beer from, yeah,
I
it
think
was
you
in
may
the
have taken
plaza
me
near the Whole
there.
Foods. Okay.
It was like right across the street from some Mexican chain. Or was it a
No.
Mexican chain? I don't. Okay. Anyway.
So this one's called Uncovered Roots. It's from Pure Project out of San Diego. And it is a purple stout. And I don't remember
Ooh.
ever seeing that before. Imperial Purple Stout with ube, coconut, cacao, and cafe.
Ube.
And
Huh.
ube is where the purple comes from because that's a
Huh.
purple yam.
Oh, you know what? I
Interesting.
think I had that on a crossword puzzle last week.
An ube. Yeah, that's a good crossword word. And
Well, it
I've
was
got
a word I
classic,
never heard because I remember. That's why I remember it
Yeah.
because after I finished the puzzle, I looked it up because that was totally new to me.
Yeah, purple
Yeah.
yam. So let's take a look and see if we get a purple color here
Hmm.
on this purple stout. Oh my gosh, it's purple.
Oh, that is quite purpley.
You guys, I don't know. I'm looking at the screen. This
It's. I can tell that there is a tinge of
has
purple
got-
to it. It does feel like almost violet
it's
from our angle.
very
Oh, yeah.
purple.
Mhm.
Really
I
dark
did not-
purple too. That's nice.
I really didn't think it was going to be that purple, but coming out of the can, you can really see it a little more than you can on camera. But anyway, purple stout. I mean, that's a good lighting. I mean, it's you get a
Very nice.
shot of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go. And now that we've all poured,
Yes.
we
And
can all
It is
do a
time to
drink.
drink.
Also, this is 9%.
very good. So you beat me
Beating
by
the
one.
captain.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm at 8.
Cheers.
So we're all
Cheers
we're all
indeed.
going hard for our return. I'll say.
I smell some coffee there. Let's see.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
This
Nice.
is good.
Yeah. So I did a little digging on this beer because I love it, and this beer apparently has inspiration in a alcohol-based tradition that my family enjoys, coming from the Great Northwest or the Great Midwest, Northern Midwest. We were surrounded by Scandinavian imports to there, and the Norwegians have a tradition of something called glug for their holidays. Has anyone indulged in glug in our crew here?
I mean, not
no, I can't
officially.
say I have.
Not officially. Well, it's a great way to get drunk with your family during the holidays because it is basically like a mulled wine with vodka in it.
Oh,
And my
Okay, so
neighbor-
it's sort of like their version of the. So you have the Glühwein
Yep.
in Germany, and so it
Yep.
probably is the same prefix. there.
basically same concept. Yep. And so our neighbor 2 doors down used to make he and his wife would always like make little like glug starters for everybody, and so you'd get your bottle of red wine and you'd pour it in the thing, and then you put the glug starter in there, which was basically like vodka and spices, and then you'd like boil it up. And many a Christmas Eve night I have spent just getting slightly blasted with Tripel, always a Tripel, and my mom and my sister on glug. And so this is meant to taste like it in a beer form, and it's actually kind of close.
Cool.
You're supposed to drink it cold. I would hope you drink this cold, but it definitely has that kind of like clove, cardamom, cinnamon, root, ginger kind of feel to it. And the fig kind of, I guess, is mirroring that red wine characteristic. So I can see that. But my favorite thing about this is that their recommended pairing is pickled herring, which is my dad's New Year's like treat. It's one of the things he eats for himself because it is according to his family tradition, and I guess my family tradition by way of that. You eat herring for health.
okay.
I just love that. I love that the provider not only gave you something that fits your profile, maybe even more than she realized. This is a Christmas beer from Southern Tier that clicks all these boxes for growing up in Minnesota.
Exactly. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
But it's actually a solid beer. It's the kind of thing I actually might see if I can next time I'm at home for Christmas. I did not go home this year. I might smuggle home to see if we can enjoy next to our glug. You do a little taste test, see which one we like better.
Yeah. The glug. Now, I know, I will say we have had 2X on the show. I have.
Yes. Yes, you have had this.
But
We
we're
have had
getting
this.
all kinds of new, fresh information about it. I
I
like
know.
that. So well played, sir.
Oh, I did not actually look it up. I didn't realize this is a something we're having on the show for a second time. But when we're talking about the 2024 edition versus the 2020 edition, I think it's fair.
It's a whole new world.
Well,
Yeah.
you didn't get any fig last time, Huck, and I am
I didn't even
all
mention the
figged
fig.
out here. So
Maybe it's Fig is a new feature. I mean, I don't know. We'd have to.
So
listen
it
to
is
the
a new
episode.
beer. Yeah.
I remember it was a holiday Christmas beer episode,
Mhm.
and I remember thinking I like that 2Xmas, and I looked all over town. I think I went to 5 or 6 different places, and finally found it on this little bodega on Columbus Avenue. Now this beer, I'm gonna see if I can get my light to give me more of the purple action. I don't want to bring it down too much, but.
Yeah, that's a
no, it
really
doesn't
unique
help much,
looking
but-
stout.
and it's kind of translucent.
it is. It
too,
is such an interesting.
unlike
look.
a normal stout. It's I don't know. This could be a new style that just hasn't been done yet. And I just looked it up online. Amazing description, if I may. I'll just give you the cliff notes of it.
Yeah.
This is Purple Imperial Stout, back to delight your taste buds. I guess they've made it before. Thanks to its beautiful hue, it's purple. Crafted with ube. Again, it's the purple yam as its star ingredient. The recipe was masterfully developed by our QA/QC manager, Nate, drawing inspiration for the vibrant purple desserts of his Filipino heritage.
Huh. Interesting.
This extraordinary stout is infused with organic ube from Indonesia,
Cool.
coconut from the Philippines, cacao from Peru, and Mostro Coffee's Ghost Bear Espresso Blend. I mean, what a combination.
Yeah.
And aromas of coconut, macaroon,
Macaroon.
and ube cookie, chocolate wafers lead to rich flavors, blah, blah, blah. Excellent beer. I really think this is really good. And at 9%, I don't get booziness at all. It's
Cool.
just
Great.
all the flavors. Okay, I'm not talking to you right now, Siri.
She's
The
so nosy
aromas are-
sometimes.
I know.
The aromas are very strong. You get that starchy potato
Mhm.
aroma mixed with the coffee,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Which is a interesting, like potato coffee.
Yeah.
I'd never smelled it before. Really interesting, and it also has a very like dessert quality
Sure.
on the nose. And then the flavors, you get the coconut, you get the cacao,
Mhm.
and it goes down smooth. I feel like this is like a much lighter beer than it's claiming to be. Look how much I've drank already. You know, it's like
I know. You're flying
just
through.
going down easy. Of course, I do tend to drink imperial stouts at the same pace that I drink a pilsner.
Well,
Like, yeah.
that's years of practice and skill. Let's just be very clear for our newer Beervengers. You don't want to start with that move.
But
This
I
is
Yeah, you
a
got to work
mistake.
your way up to it. But
Opportunity.
yeah.
Yep.
That's a winner. And I also think I got it cheaper than it should have been because on the shelf there was a IPA that was labeled. Generally at Out of the Barrel they sell their cans for about $7. And this label said 7, but it didn't say it was this beer. It said it was a different beer, and I did get charged 7. So, I mean, that probably should have been 10
Well, there you go.
in that particular store. You know, they're not high end. You know, they just charge more. But I don't know if it did bring you there because Out of the Barrel has about 24 taps, and it's just a pure beer bar. You know, they don't serve food. There's a restaurant right across the street. It's right near the Whole
Well,
Foods.
That's what I was remembering. There was a place that you and Cider Girl took me. They have a bar, but they're also a bottle shop. And then we went and had dinner across the street right afterwards. Maybe I was wrong when I said Mexican. I don't know what it was. I think it might have like sort of a pseudo Italian
Jack's.
theme. I don't know.
Yeah, we did go there. Because I usually get like a turkey dinner. It's Jack's.
Okay.
You order, and then you sit down, and they bring.
Yeah,
you
it's
the
like
food.
it's like
I
feels
remember
like
you
pseudo
ordering a beer
cafeteria
over there.
style. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we did pop in there. Yeah, without the beer wonder.
Yes. Beer Wonder
I had
was
to-
already
I had
back
to
in New
go
York
and-
at that point.
I had to
I
go
was
and
just
work and
looking at
make
my
money or
photos from
something.
that time because that was the beginning of our year.
Yeah, that was about a year
2024
ago.
was your visit here in January, and there's so much. We did so much without the captain because he had a delayed flight.
Mhm.
Yes.
But
Then we caught
missed
up
you
afterwards.
at every stop, and then you stayed longer, so you got to get more of the flavor. But having the three of us together Uh,
That was great.
well, we could talk about this later about going to another destination, beer venging. But in the meantime, back over to the captain. Sorry,
Yes,
to
Yeah,
take
I
we've
the
feel
got
I
one.
do
time.
should need to talk. I don't have a whole lot of there's a lot of description on here. I would say that since this is a stout with chocolate, coffee, and cinnamon, I think the cinnamon is kind of what's taking the center stage here.
Okay.
The chocolate and coffee are there, but yeah, I was like at one point I was like, "This is cardamom." No, yours is the one that says cardamom in it. But yeah, I think that
You can really see the purple when I
yeah, the
pull it.
cinnamon is really taking over here, and it's good. I like it. I Similarly, I think also because eight with your nine, I guess that's always a little bit on the bubble. But for 8%, yeah, it's very drinkable. I could knock this back quickly. Uh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but yeah, really really nice craftsmanship in this. And again, let's look at that can art again. It's just
It's so
so
cool.
perfect.
Do they
Yeah.
have any information about it? I'm just curious.
Well, it's in their heritage series.
Okay.
It is like on the can. There's very little information, and
Okay.
I'm a terrible researcher. So find out what that is. Most
Yeah. I'm
importantly,
looking at it.
another like word to our sponsor. If you're a beer and cheese collective, you can get this one there as well as many many other wonderful things, as well
It's
as
interesting. I know
the
Harlem.
2X, I believe.
Harlem has the Sugar Hill beer, the Sugar Hill Golden Ale,
Hmm.
and I remember having
Yeah,
that years ago, like in Harlem. It was like
right.
they
They've also
they
got their
even
well, the one that Beer Wonder liked so much, I think, was their 110th Street IPA,
Yes, I love that beer. Oh, 125.
125th Street. Yeah.
Yep.
125th Street. I was thinking about a movie set in Harlem called Across
So
110th Street.
Heritage Queen. Let me see. Just says chocolate coffee stout with cinnamon.
Yeah.
That's the untapped description. But even then, they were brewing out of the city in the
Yes.
early days. So they've always been that. But
I
I
think Beer Wonder and I
believe it's a
first
black-owned
discovered them.
brewery.
I mean, yeah, the Beer Wonder and I first discovered it at there was one of the kickoff event things for
Yeah,
New York City Beer Week.
was in New York City beer where I met their head brewer, or one of their founders, who was incredible, and I like fell in love with the beer, and they gave me a pack to come home with, and we talked about it on the beer cast, and huge fan. So it's fun to hear them making an appearance and seeing them do things outside of that, IPA mold, which is the beer I've always had from them, which I just love. I mean, you can get them
Yeah.
at Whole Foods. Can't it's one of my like perfect IPAs out there.
Nice.
Absolutely.
That's good to hear. West Coast style, or is it hazy?
Oh no, it's got bite. It's got pine trees in it. It definitely went on a tromp through the forest. So it's good times.
That's my vibe now.
Yep.
I love the West Coast style. I
Well,
mean,
you've committed to
I was
that.
off hazies even back in New York.
Yep.
But I'm really getting into nice West Coasts out here.
Nice.
It's interesting when I was in and I wasn't really putting this together because I don't think I've had a lot of the British IPAs, but I was
Sure.
in France recently and I got to have a few other IPAs there, and I found that generally their IPAs were definitely more mild and
Yes.
more easy to drink and not as much hop forward. And so for my palate, I prefer that, and I think that's still why I will often prefer the East Coast over the West Coast IPAs, just because they're just sometimes that high hop profile is just a little too much for me.
I get that. I mean, the just toss a bunch of hops in and call it a day is not the most thoughtful way to make an IPA.
Yes, and I would say most people who think they hate IPAs, they had one of the high hop profile ones at one point,
Exactly.
and
Yep.
and they haven't tried the vast array of IPAs out there.
Exactly. All hops, no
Right.
cigar.
Yeah, that does happen. And there's so much to talk about. Obviously, since we haven't been on since May.
I know.
Yeah.
Where to start? May.
Well, I guess
How was your May?
let some of you know why, one of the reasons why we stopped doing this for a little while and why we decided to come back. I just need a little bit of a break from it. I can talk about that a little bit more, but we were actually thinking about coming back in November, and we had the discussion in October, and then we all know what happened at the beginning of November, and I immediately Well, people who've been listening from the beginning know that we started with saying we're not really a political podcast, but we are not apolitical. So let's go over those three things because most of that still applies. We said fuck Trump, Black Lives Matter, and I guess the third one is now wear a mask if you want to, or if someone asks you to.
Well, we can find a different third.
We can find a different third.
But I mean, but
don't know.
those things are still valid. I think it's like because some
Support
people are
local
mask.
media.
There are definitely some mask
No
intolerant
masks.
people, but yeah. But yeah, masks are fine. But we don't have to have a strong. But yeah, the other two definitely apply very strongly. And as soon as the election happened, I said, I'm not in the mood to do this. It's all I'm thinking about. I don't want to only talk about this. Obviously, we're 25 minutes in. We're talking about it a little bit. That's still not going to be our focus, but we're going to talk about it when we need to.
Yeah.
And then
So
yeah, okay. Let's.
Palestine, but that's a very controversial thing to say.
So we're like, oh, let's not do it in November. And then I took this trip I was just talking about. Took a trip to France, and I was like, okay, we'll do it when I get back from the trip to France. And then we realized that Beer Wonder was taking a vacation like 3 days after I got back. So I'm like, all right, it'll be a new set thing for the new year. So here we are again in the new year talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
New tax season.
New beer
New
year.
New beer.
20. We're at the quarter century mark for for the 2000s.
Yes, quarter century. We'll see if we make it through the century. Yeah.
That. Oh, good point. Quarter century. We should have been celebrating that. Well, I had a weird New Year's because I was on Cape Cod.
Yeah.
That's in Massachusetts, folks.
Yes. We've heard
out here in California. I say, oh, I was down the Cape. And people go, oh, Cape Canaveral? Like they don't know. I'm like, how do you? Because we just say the Cape. That's it.
Yeah. What are the people who are listening to us in Singapore going to say about that?
Yeah.
What do you mean down
or
the
the
Cape?
aliens. The aliens.
And the aliens.
Is that where
don't
the
even know
aliens
what
are?
the Cape is.
All the aliens have VPNs that tell us they're in Singapore.
Yeah. Now we have to talk. We got to talk about the aliens too. What kind of beer do they drink? Do they brew? Do they have hops where they come from? Do they have grains? But I had a flight. Cider Girl and I, we had a flight at 9 a.m. out of Boston on New Year's Day, which is a great time to fly, by the way.
Sure.
Not crowded. But our New Year's celebration was quite mild. And we just had like one beer at midnight. I went to a craft beer bar.
Oh, okay.
And I had oh man, I'll try to remember. But anyway, so we didn't really celebrate too strongly this year for the new year. But yeah, quarter century. I dig that. That's all I was pointing out.
It's been a
hot
moment.
It was wild. The other night when I was
No, please.
I was saying the other night when I was picking up this beer, I was having a beer sitting at the counter at Beer and Cheese Collective, and I ran into a couple of other regulars who I'd never met before because apparently they fit a time when I'm not usually there. This couple, Annette and Andrew, I think, and they're both like theater professionals. She's an actor and I think a director, and he's a sound technician. And and they noticed, because of this incredible can art that the provider had set up for me that was sitting on the bar next to me, like, oh, what are those over there? So I got a chance to plug the podcast. And I was talking about how we have a lot of people who have downloaded our show in Singapore. And the two of them had done a lot of touring theater in Europe and all over the world. And they were saying, yeah, beer's really expensive in Singapore. So to all of our Singapore listeners out there, come to New York. You'll think our beer is cheap.
Yeah.
That's a lesson right there.
Yeah.
The beer is expensive. Well, it's probably on par because beer is expensive in New York for sure.
That's true.
Beer is expensive at Fresno. Like I was talking about out of the barrel. I mean, these drafts they charge $9.10 for drafts. So
to give you our sense of this. So we've had close to 79% of our listeners last year were in the United States, and almost 10% of them were from Singapore.
Okay.
So welcome our Singapore friends.
Yeah, heck yeah. And maybe that's our next beer.
I get we have to go to Singapore to really report for the people, report for what the listeners want.
It's a hell of a,
I don't know.
a long way, but
But since Annette and Andrew said that they're expensive beer there, I don't know if we'll get much bang for our buck there.
I was suggesting
it's
Chicago, but
I like
Singapore,
Chicago. Yeah.
Chicago, they're basically the same, right?
other places. I mean, the other places that I'm like trying to get places where I can fly direct.
Right.
So like Portland is a place that we haven't tapped into very much.
Sure.
And I can't fly direct there. That could be fun. Vegas is easy to get to, and we haven't done a beer thing yet. That could be fun. And
I have never been to Vegas.
I haven't either been. I haven't either. Yeah.
I hadn't gone until this year.
Mhm.
Went to see the Eagles at the Sphere.
Okay.
Now you can know how old I am. And it was an amazing experience. And the following night we saw Santana at the House of Blues. So I mean, 2 nights in Vegas and saw like legends, on stage.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
It was amazing. Both shows were incredible. The Sphere was incredible because of the Sphere.
Mhm.
Eagles were great too. But to see Carlos up close and the drummer Cindy Blackman Santana, who's his wife, she's amazing. She used to drum for Lenny Kravitz, a bunch of other drummers. She's on the Monday Night Football opening where she does because they do the Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight," which is about somebody drowning in a pool in a lake and nobody helping them.
That gets you up for football. Sure.
Really appropriate for Monday Night Football.
I don't know why they stopped doing the Hank Williams the third, or is it Hank Williams Jr.?
They did cut Hank Williams.
Didn't he have one?
Yeah, it's Chris Stapleton sings the song, and then she does the boom, 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 boom. So incredible drummer, incredible night. But now we're going back because I'm like, it's such an easy flight from Fresno. We're going to see Weird Al Yankovic in June. It's a ways off.
Is Mother Pucker coming with you? Because that's her jam right there.
I talked to her. She said, well, I haven't. Here's what the Mother Pucker said. She says, I have another Vegas trip that I'm doing to see a different group.
Oh.
And she's going to see Weird Al in New York.
Okay.
No, much, much lamer.
Okay.
If I may say, if I may call out the Mother Pucker for her love of the New Kids on the Block.
Well, yes.
Yeah, you can call that out. Sure. Yeah.
She's going to like 2 shows, maybe 3 shows in Vegas. And to be fair, her bestie, Kimmy, is from Vegas and lives in Vegas. So
yes.
We might try to hook up with her at that time, but I'm not going to a New Kids show.
No,
no.
That does not feel
like... You've got to draw the line somewhere.
Happening. And we're also going to go to a WNBA game, Las Vegas Aces game. Okay. So it's going to be another great weekend. And it's I might get hooked on Vegas. And not the gambling. I like to play a little video poker. But when we were there that weekend, we blew $40.
Okay.
So that's us. That's Brick and I. We're not winning. We're not, because losing money sucks.
Yep.
And but people get on those tables and lose money quick, and that's just not our vibe.
Yeah, it's, you can blink and lose $40. That's nothing.
Oh, well, that's the thing with video poker. You can stretch out the time and lose $40.
Like, I'll do this a nickel at a time.
But they don't have a lot of video poker machines because of that. Because if you do slots, I mean, slots is just stupid in my mind. Yeah. But video poker, you make choices. You're like, oh, should I keep the 2 queens or should I try to go for a flush? And you can like stretch the time out and kind of have fun, a little bit of fun playing. Didn't know this was the direction we were going, but hey, somebody else take over because I'm going to speak out in favor of slots, not because I think they're a really great thing to do, just because I'm not a gambling sort as well, and I don't have a head for card combinations, so I lose track of what are the good hands in poker. I've occasionally played poker strictly for fun, and no one ever knows how to strategize against me. I usually lose anyway, but no one knows how to strategize me because I'm not really. There's no rhyme or reason to how I play the game. But with slots, you pull the thing. Except I think when I was doing it, you just press the button. And I actually had some luck with them one time. I was doing a gig at a place up near Syracuse called Turning Stone, I think is the name of it. And I was doing like a murder mystery there or something. And so after the show was over, we're all hanging out in the casino. And I won just enough on slots to buy my very first DVD player.
Oh,
okay.
And this is the crazy thing about the way those things work. This was in like late 90s, probably late 90s, could have been early 2000s, back when they were kind of brand new technology. And the cheapest DVD player I could find at that time was about $300.
Mm.
Wow.
Which is insane because you could get a really nice DVD player now for $300 if you can find them.
Mhm.
If you're not fooled by all the thing proclaiming the death of physical media.
Sure.
Well, I could tell my DVD. I almost said the name.
Cider Girl.
Cider Girl and I, we won 2 different DVDs in the same year.
Ooh.
One was
That's cool.
I was on the well-known TV VH1 TV game show Name That Video.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
And have you? Probably from me because I was on
Yes, it's only from you. There's no other
Yeah.
reason I would know it, I'm afraid.
And I did not win, but I got the consolation prize, which was a DVD player.
Okay.
And then we went to see it back to the WNBA. We went to a New York Liberty game.
Ah, yeah.
And we got to play concentration on the floor during one of the breaks. Joan Jett cheered us on. That was fun. And we won because it was like super easy. Like you have to match different cards. And we played at center court and we won a DVD player. So we had 2 DVD players.
That's outstanding.
And we already had one. So I think, I don't remember. I gave
So you got
one
a spare. Yeah.
I gave one to Frank. If you remember Frank, I know the captain does. And that's a pseudonym as well.
Yes, that is
Not
also
craft beer, Frank.
No. It's kind of a messy
Anyway, there
pseudonym,
you go.
but yeah.
I didn't know that's where we were going. Today.
No,
You never
but
know.
the first thing is, I think it doesn't matter where we go at this point because I would say one of the reasons why we took a little bit of a break from this is I was starting to wonder what more can we actually say about beer. I feel like everything's been. We can talk about these beers and we can talk about them for a little bit, but as far as like really talking, there are shifts, there are changes. I'm also going to push back a little bit about the whole notion that, people are trying to say, oh, craft beer is over because for the first time ever,
I saw a lot of that
there
today,
are
and yeah.
there are fewer there were more craft breweries that closed than opened.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
would basically just mean something like 400 closed and 350 opened out of
Right.
thousands of breweries.
9,000 plus, yeah.
9,000 plus. And apparently in 2020, like pre-pandemic, there were only 7,000 of them. So we're at no shortage for craft breweries. So I think this is sort of the leveling out that happens whenever there's a boom.
And our
Craft beer's not
friend
going
of the
anywhere.
show, Brew York, read his newsletter today, and he pointed out an article in the New York Times said that is craft beer dead? And he pointed out that somebody else said, anytime there's an article that ends with a question mark, the answer is no.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the correct
Because
answer, yeah.
otherwise you're not going to ask. You're going to say craft beer is dead. That's going to be the
Right.
headline.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not dead, but yeah, it's just the
There's
natural thing that
there's a level setting
It's
that's
leveling out,
happening.
yeah.
Exactly. I feel like we were talking about this at the Pony Bar when we saw Dan
Yeah.
a couple days ago, which is that that people were just throwing up anything against a wall and put a overpriced hot dog next to it at your brewery, and suddenly everybody would show up. And now we've created a bunch of interested beer drinkers who've been drinking for a while, that our palates have gotten more specific, and we're not going to put up with crap anymore. And most of the folks who probably who've been on our beer cast have in some way found their sort of level set, right? I mean, Huck, you talked about how one becomes a lager lover later in their beer journey, and believe it or not, I have come around to enjoying lagers more now, and so I feel like that is the natural progression that we've hit on. It's not that the scene is dead; it's just that we got enough smart beer drinkers that they actually want good stuff, and if you're not putting out good stuff, the demand is not there for you.
Yeah, and I think that beer podcasts maybe also hit a bubble. So this is a perfect time for us to come back.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fill
And
that
people are
void.
going to be like, we need the real
The
beer podcast, the
Yes.
real guys. That's us.
But I also think that we don't need to be at all embarrassed about our moving on and talking about other things, talking about Vegas, talking about the Eagles, talking about whatever, because really it's always been kind of, I think, the subtext of the show is that it's more about us hanging out together than the beer, right? I mean, I saw another
Absolutely.
article in the New York Times by Josh Bernstein. This was actually, he's a guy who's been a beer journalist for a while. And I think as the beer in your hand is the last part of the story, because there's so much story behind the beer. But then once you have the beer in your hand and you're talking, it's just all about the experience of hanging out together. And
Yep.
Huck, we haven't seen you a lot since we started this. We've seen each other
Yep.
professional on occasion, but we haven't seen as much.
Yes.
So for those of you who are out there, you're basically just facilitating a reason for us to hang out together. So hopefully some of you are listening to this. If that's not interesting to you, well, that's why you're not listening to it. But hopefully it's all good. But
I was
and
gonna say, a high glow popper.
but in the 4 years that we almost 4 years that we did it, now we're going into year 5 since we started doing the whole thing. It's we've been through a lot of things, and those of you who listen know some of the things I'm talking about. As you get older, as the less of the people you knew are alive, and all of that. And some people drift away, and all these things, and you start to just think like, all right, so what are we doing? What's the whole purpose of it? It's because you're just looking for positive experiences, meaningful experiences, things that because there's a lot of what your day to day is just the same things you do in and out, and you start to wonder like, well, what else is there? What gives you pause to like celebrate existence? So maybe the subtitle of our show is now going to be reasons not to kill yourself. Or no, that's a little dark, isn't it? No, there's a better way I can frame that. I think I can frame that. That might be a little triggering for some people.
And take two.
Yeah.
No. I think maybe what I'm saying, like, so looking for meaning in things, looking for a meaningful experience. Like, hey, I think we should call it the meaning of life. That's a little more upbeat, isn't it? We're looking for the meaning of life.
I'm bouncing off that. Like, I love craft beer, and I love like at Christmas Day with my family, we took a beer wall picture. You might have seen it.
Yeah.
A lot of treehouse, and had a great time drinking them. But the point was that we were with each other,
Yep.
and that we were connecting. And it's about being social. Now, you could drink beer by yourself at home, and people do that. I've done it.
Yeah.
But going places, going to a brewery, going to a bar, you meet people, you meet like-minded people, and you connect. And that's more like okay, like Cider Girl is like, she worries about how much I go out sometimes and drink. But I do love to drink, and I can't deny that. I have to be careful sometimes, but it's not primarily about that. The social aspect of it is what drives me, which gives me endorphins. You get the endorphins from drinking, eating, you get those endorphins. But the endorphins that I think are the most powerful are the connections with other people, other like-minded people who are doing the same thing you are, connecting. And especially in our digital age where people do connect online, and that's legitimate.
Yeah.
But to connect in real life, in person, is just so much more fulfilling. And I think that I maybe like that's like sounds like an alcoholic talking. Like, no, it's about meeting people.
Well,
but that's really true.
But, I mean, they talk about alcohol as being a social lubricant, right? And it's true.
Yes.
The social part of that is important. I mean, when people get worried about a drinker is when they sit at home and do it by themselves.
Right.
But the nice thing is about when we have our meaningful experiences, it's good to go out and seek them. But the thing is, when you're hanging out, having that shared experience, it's meaningful to begin with. And if you're together seeking out meaningful experiences, then it's value in that sense. I don't mean to make it too capitalistic in that sense. And I know we all have more to say about this, but I know Huck and I are both empty. And so since I went first before, I'm going to go first again. I'm going to go first again with a second pour. So anyone, some of you might have seen, if you caught my Instagram live a couple of days ago, where I did a massive unboxing video.
Massive.
And if you go and look at it again, just figure out if there's some way you can fast forward for the first 6 minutes, because I spent like just the logo playing music while I was waiting for people to show up. and one or two did. And so like 6 minutes in, but it's like I had 68 beers. But this is one I ordered specifically for the relaunching of the podcast because we haven't gotten all 50 states in yet. And this is the first time we have had an Arizona beer. This is from a brewery from Phoenix, Arizona, called Roses by the Stairs, and this is called Good Neighbor Imperial Stout. Good Neighbors,
Oh, hell
sorry,
yeah.
Good
I was
Neighbors
at
Imperial
Roses by
Stout.
the Stairs last year.
And this has Beer Wonder's favorite ingredient: plum, cardamom, cinnamon, and
Actual
vanilla.
plum, though, not just like plum.
Yes, actual
essence
plum.
or
So this probably has a plummy
or
taste from
esters of
actual
plum.
plums. Cardamom,
Okay,
cinnamon, vanilla, and
I think there's nutmeg in this.
no, I don't see any
Bless it.
nutmeg on the list, but yeah. So here we go.
You just never know, though. You
Thanks
always
for
have
jumping
to check.
in
There
with,
we go.
with that.
Well, with those lists, nutmeg would fit with those things, but it just doesn't happen to be in this. This is a glass I have from Hop and Frog, a brewery in Akron that I visited back in May.
Oh, look
wow.
At that.
Look how dark. That's the oil can you're looking for, Beer Wonder.
Yeah, that is
The
exactly.
big old head.
It's taking
Big
its time.
fucking head, yeah. I'm going to have to let that settle for a bit.
Head. We have to get the
But it's-
explicit
in a Hop and
big
Frog glass,
fucking
yeah.
head.
Big fucking head, big, like really dark too. So, yeah, hopefully this won't confuse anyone with Hop and Frog next to Roses by the Stairs. But there's our picture there. It's dripping down the side of the thing a little bit too.
Love it. Oh my
Beautiful.
gosh. Yeah, I've got another beer as well. But Roses by the Stairs, I was there in November 23.
Well, if you did Jenny checked luggage, I was trying to encourage you to bring some back with you, but I know you guys do all
but
carry on.
Me, we don't usually do that.
They
But
fancy.
I remember sent you a picture of a pumpkin pie beer that did indeed have nutmeg at the time. And nice beer, a really good brewery. And I hope you're enjoying that one. But I have a beer from California. And I was thinking, you know how when we were previously doing the podcast, I was trying to get a new breweries every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that anymore. I mean, we've done them all. We haven't done them all, but I think I did this one. It's called Around the Horn Brewing. But what caught my eye, it's called Sir Elton John.
Oh, perfect.
Which I don't know why we name beers after Elton John. He's an alcoholic who doesn't.
He's a
drink.
sober guy. Yeah.
He's a sober guy. There's another one at Cellar Maker called Tiny Dankster, which is a popular one.
Well, that's fun.
But Sir Elton John is an alt beer.
Oh,
So I was like,
okay.
oh, I haven't had an alt beer in a while. It's a very specific style. And I have my Fox Farm glass that I recently got out of Connecticut, obviously.
Naturally.
I got a shipment from Fox Farm. So let's take a look at this alt beer and see what we're looking at here. Go ahead and
It's been a
describe
minute
if
since
you
we've
like.
had an
Yeah.
alt beer.
They're nice. They're cousins to another kind of. Aren't they cousins to a Kolsch?
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Neighbors.
There's some kind of like a regional rivalry thing.
Yeah, they're
so-
related to the city of
This head is still
Dusseldorf.
Look at that.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Whoa.
Oh, hang on.
Okay.
I'm going to put it down. I was going
I
to say, I saw your glass was empty.
I understand that that this is an unusual experience, but Beer 101 is a notable cause. So I indeed do have a second pour. This also is from our friends at
Sponsored pour.
the Beer and Cheese Collective. It is a Garvey's Point Craft Brewing on point India Pale Ale. Getting back to my roots.
Yeah, we got to have an
Nice.
IPA today.
Exactly, because you can't do the wonder without some IPA. So.
What's Garvey's Point? That's out of New York?
Glen Cove,
New York State,
yes.
Right.
Yeah, Glen Cove is off on Long Island.
I'm
So,
seeing haze right there on the pour.
Yep, it is all the haze you ever wanted.
Oh, beautiful.
Orange.
It has
It
come.
does have a good
It
color.
has come correct. It is done properly. It is
This is
accurate.
This is how
Nice.
this is how it is. Yeah.
So
Let's
finally,
This is a
gentlemen,
meaningful experience. A reason
what
not to
looks
fucking kill
like-
yourself. Yeah.
with what looks like grapefruit juice, I will say cheers.
All right.
Cheers,
Cheers.
It also smells like grapefruit juice and tastes like grapefruit juice, so it's grapefruit juice.
And we got a chance for a full second round of reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Around the Horn Brewing is out of Groveland,
Mm-hmm.
California, which I
And
believe
what's your
is-
ABV on that one, Huck?
It's low. It's 5.
All right, so I think I win then, because even though yours was higher before, this one is 13.3.
Hello.
Oh God.
Back to work.
Save
Well,
us
we're going to
all.
go out later, so
Apparently. Well,
I
yeah, I
gotta
was
do
going to say
my
the
5%ers.
time is up for you. We have it's the end of our time here in New York. So the main hop in this one is Citra, and you can tell.
Uh-huh.
It is the definition of Citra, although they have a more complicated grain bill on this one. But really, the Citra is the star, and it's effectively alcoholic grapefruit juice, and I'm very pleased.
Okay. Okay, you got those citrus vibes. Are there other hops involved, or
I think it
not
based
to
on
put
what
you
I'm
on the
seeing here.
spot?
It looks based on what I'm reading on the can. The main one they're saying is Citra, and you know what? Here's the thing: they're highlighting the Citra. They're highlighting it well. I'm pleased.
What's the name of the beer again?
It is On Point IPA, and that is what it is. It checks all the boxes. They describe it as
Excellent.
tropical and smooth, so ready to go.
Harvey's Point. Oh, I see. It's like in the name.
Yep.
I'm looking at it now. There's Kohata hops
Oh, okay.
as well, which may also be a tropical fruit.
I would imagine that's
flavor.
tropical. Yeah,
Kohata sounds like a Australian or New Zealand.
yeah, it's definitely hitting the tropical and Citra vibes for me. So vibes.
Many
Also,
different.
that's what the kids are
grain
saying
there.
these days. Let's be clear, vibes.
Mad vibes.
Mad
Wait a minute,
vibes.
the kids are. That's not really a new one, is it? Though they're pretending they think they invented it.
But it's back. We're doing things on vibes.
Okay.
Now. Also,
Well, that was
but
what I'm
now-
saying is that, but they don't think they invented it, do they?
No,
No.
but now
Okay.
we're doing everything on vibes. Also, once TikTok is banned in 10 days or whatever it's going to be, then all the
Yeah.
vibes, I guess, are dead. But for the moment, we can still be on vibes.
I honestly
Sure.
don't think it will be banned, but well, we can get into that.
Yeah.
Let's first get into
Let's
the
talk about the
Captain's
beers. Let's
beer.
talk about
Where
the
are we
beers,
at?
yes.
Captain?
So yeah, this is it's interesting. It's a very similar flavor profile to the other one, although it's a bit thicker and richer with the 13.3%. I'm not really tasting the plum so much, but the cardamom and the cinnamon coming through really strong, and vanilla just I don't know, vanilla just vibes with it very well. It's
You're
just I don't really, the vanilla is almost like just something that's coming along for the ride. It's definitely there, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not hitting me so much. But just like it just goes so well with any imperial stout with a little vanilla. You don't want vanilla on its own. Well, maybe some people do. But generally speaking, like vanilla with these darker flavors mixed together, it's wonderful. Next time you're heading out to Phoenix, let me know. Hop a plane and I'll join you, and we can go to good.
There's another place we can
That
go.
and
It's
that's
a good beer scene there.
direct flights from.
Yeah, and I got
Fresno.
family
That's
near
where I
there, too.
changed planes. Yeah, I changed planes in Phoenix when I came to visit you, Huck.
We just went to Phoenix on our way to Boston as well over the holidays. So Phoenix, and we have family there too. We have a lot of Sparacinos in. Oh, I gave a name away.
I know you're ruining everything.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was actually thinking that because I have an Instagram, Hophead Huck,
Yep.
and I don't use it.
Okay.
I really don't really use it anymore. When I do beer stuff, I put it on Beervengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I am myself, I'm just gonna say it. My name is Michael Birch.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, you know
101
what?
Episodes, we're giving everything away.
The thing is, I think that our Beervengers can know this. I think we don't have to say it every episode, but I think the Beervengers, if you're willing to download this and listen to us ramble on away from our beer stories into whatever ramblings Hey, Mike, I'm Glenn.
Whoa, hi, Glenn.
I don't know what to do. I mean, we have easily revealed ourselves multiple times
The
here.
face of the beer wonder just now.
We have ruined any pretense of what this is.
He was shocked.
Which means it can be anything.
I know. Honestly, I don't know what these vibes are.
His name is Dave. His name is
101
Dave.
vibes.
I'm going to say it.
No, my name is Ethan. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna do
Whoa!
this.
Wow.
But guys, what are these vibes? What are the 101 vibes?
This is
Quarter of a
reality
century.
vibes we're doing.
Reality.
I think this is we have truly created a meaningful experience here, haven't we?
Oh,
I mean,
Exactly.
just that's the thing. It's like just the three of us in a room together, even if we're in different locations, is itself a meaningful experience. Then when you can amp that up, that's even better. So I think I think that we're not going to be doing this as probably as often as we were before, unless we fucking feel like it. But whenever we feel like doing this, I think we are going to share whatever reasons we've had. Like, wow, that I'm glad that happened. I'm glad I wasn't dead and I did that. And if we and it's perfectly okay if we meet back here a month later and we haven't had any. Well, now we're having one with the three of us, and so that's the thing to look forward to. I don't know. It's the world can be pretty bleak sometimes, and this makes it less so.
I think the reason I want to be, well, look, I'm the pale male Hophead Huck. Earlier, when I had the stout, my name was Decaf Stan, Stout Loving Man. And now that I'm having a lighter beer, I'm Crispy Chips.
Yep.
And when I have a sour beer, I'm Sourpuss. So I've got lots of names, but also known as Huckleberry. Oh, yeah, we already knew that. But I want to promote the show on my regular Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Okay.
but you're still
That's
welcome.
That's the only reason.
But if you want to put those posts on Beervengers, you can keep doing that too.
I'll do that too. Yeah. I mean, I love the Beervengers. Sometimes they have like these Instagram posts because I hang out with the kids and they have the cool.
Yes, they're so
They
cool.
like
They got the
they'll
hashtags.
say like January and 6 pictures,
Mhm.
and I'll be like, oh, I can do that. And then I see it's beers, so I switch over to Beervengers, and I do that, and it's just beer pictures.
Yeah.
So that's just fun. As long as I took 6 pictures, I should take pictures of these now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, just and since I've been becoming more of a performer, last time, like when we started this, I wasn't really giving a shit about being the personality of Mike Birch, that is the comedian, musician, actor. But now that I am being more of that comedian in general, in fact, I'm starting a new show starting next week, a new open mic.
What's
Called
talk about?
It's called Let the Regrets Commence.
Oh dear, what's the concept here?
It's a comedy open mic.
That tracks for you.
That's the title for the whole open mic, or that's your like one
No, that's the
person show?
title of the mic. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I sent a message to the cider girl. I won't reveal her name. I'll let her do that herself.
Yeah, we'll let Bricken be what she wants to be. Whoops.
Right. There you go.
God.
Well, you already said her last name.
That's how we get
That's
ruined,
true.
y'all. That's how we get ruined.
But I sent her a message because I was regretting it right away, and because I booked 4 weeks, and she said that's a great title. And then I sent it out to the general comedy community. I was like, "What do you guys think about names?" And somebody got into a fight, like an online back and forth about some bullshit, and I was like, "Yeah, it's the name."
Everyone regrets everything.
But it's fine. It's going to be a fun time at the Heartshaven Bookstore on Thursdays. Do come. It will be a good show.
The title reminds me of there was a New York show that ran for a while called Risk. Do you remember that?
It does stand out.
It was run by a guy who used to be on The State, Kevin Allison, I think.
Kevin Allison, yeah.
Yeah, and he had it was just like telling like really embarrassing stories.
Okay.
About like really like sometime, and so it's basically, I think the combination was telling a story of a risky thing you involved in, but also telling the story in front of a bunch of people is also kind of risky as well. So it's just called Risk.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, I like that. I like that concept. So so that's happening. Man, what I mean, we got so much to cover. We're just about at the hour, but I mean, I'm sorry. Sometimes I take over and talk too much, but
I think we're all talking plenty. Although maybe Beer Wonder,
Good,
I know we've been actually. I think you and I have been doing that. Maybe Beer Wonder has something to say about all this.
I mean, no. Look, I mean, here's the thing. I have always been a person who says that when people come together, life is better. And COVID sucked because of that, because we were all stuck inside. And that's part of the reason we started this thing 4 years ago, believe it or not.
Yes.
5 years ago. Oh my God.
Even though we've been talking about it for a while before we did it. But it was only like finally once we've been like, we don't have anything. We need something to do. Let's do it. So we'll do this.
Maybe 10 years.
Yeah. And the purpose of this was to bring us together and to bring people together and to bring folks together. And that's like something I care about. I mean, we were talking when the captain and I Glenn and I, oh my god,
Oh my God.
we're at the Pony Bar recently, and we were talking about a brewery that we don't actually particularly love their beers, so I'm not going to say their name
Okay.
here, but we were
Okay.
talking about how that brewery had been a really important place for us, and that we like have a lot of respect for it because when we were coming back from COVID, it was the place where the Beervengers, this core group, came together to be together in a space and have beers and like be friends. It was the first time we really saw each other inside to have some beers. Not like going to a park, not, any of the things that we did to like work around COVID. It was our time to like be together. So, yeah, I'm excited about all of that. And I'm
And
excited that you're bringing people together with comedy. And I'm excited that, we're all figuring out ways to do this thing, whether
and
it's
if you want
virtual or in
to
person.
if you want to forget the first part of what Ethan said, the that brewery was actually featured on episode 100 with a
Well, there you
wonderful
go.
beer that I liked very much. So
Exactly.
even though we don't always like their beers,
We don't always love
If
their
it's the
beer.
they're
brewery I'm
sometimes
thinking of, I
fantastic.
love what they do.
Yes.
Yeah,
I do love what they do.
well,
You've
you
liked it
have.
very much. We had a wonderful lunch Sunday lunch there one time.
We did, and we and we've
And
had good beers, but frequently when Captain and I have gone out and we have been to these different locations, and we go there, we're always like, the selection's not great, and then we'll move somewhere else.
but they
Really?
have had some really nice beers as well. It's been a little uneven. I'm okay. Now that we've teased all this, it's Torch and Crown. We're talking about Torch and Crown.
Okay, fine. Well, no, I
uh,
didn't realize that we were
yeah.
middling on Torch and Crown because like my memories because I did leave the city. So
Exactly. Well, and here's the thing.
I
Again,
remember that time we did get together. Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
when we and I remember when Torch and Crown showed up, we loved everything they were doing.
Yes.
And then every time we've been back, like I found a good beer for me. Captain's found a beer that he could handle, and then we were like, the food's good. We're gonna have our like meal break here, and then we're gonna move on.
Real
and
cool
I've had
tap room. I mean, beautiful tap room.
Yeah, gorgeous tap room.
And I will say
And
the
they're in
beer I had in
Manhattan.
the beer I had in episode 100, which was Heavy Crown, was one of my favorite ones they did, and I liked it a whole lot.
Heavy
So
Crown, yeah.
yeah. I
got
thought,
you. Well, shout out
yeah.
to Torch and Crown. They're
Yes.
still going and they're still making it happen.
We
Unlike
think so.
I
We
know
think
lost a
so.
couple-
Actually,
I hope so. I mean, here's
I-
the thing. I don't wish ill on any brewery. Like seeing all the breweries in New York City that have left, that have had to leave their spaces and move on, has been really painful. Because
Yeah.
even though they may not be my favorite brewery, if we're doing an East Village crawl, Captain and I are stopping there. Like it's on the itinerary.
Yeah.
It's always a stop because we want to support their existence. Are they my
Yeah.
favorite? Are they always doing the beers that I want? No. Are they always going to be the place where I'm going to have 3 beers? No. But I want them to be successful. I want Manhattan breweries. And so it's been really, in we're saying that like we're contracting. It's been sad to see some of these places go. So I want success for all of them as much as we can.
I know we lost That Which Ails You, and I never got a chance to go there. I believe the captain went.
Yes.
with,
Belgian Babe and I went there.
with the
at one
Belgian
point.
Babe, yeah.
All right. Oh, here we go. So 4 months
Whoa,
ago,
whatever
this
this
is I think what the Globehopper was telling us about. I
Okay.
found this on Reddit, so take that as you will. This happened 4 months ago. Recently, the production team at Torch and Crown Brewing was abruptly laid off with no notice. One moment they were brewing, and the next they were told the production was stopping and the brewery was shutting down for good.
Oh my God.
So I don't know what the latest news on any of that is, but
I mean,
if they're continuing,
their website
So-
does indicate that they're still here. So
Yes.
and they did pick up a space in Union Square, which actually I was really excited to see. They have a beautiful.
yeah, I
beer
didn't know if
garden there.
it was a seasonal space. I don't know if they're planning on opening up again this summer, but yeah, I took Father Brown's out there one time. It's a good place, but so hopefully they may be one of the ones who was they made a go of it, didn't, but we believe their place in Soho is still operational.
Yeah, it looks
and they
like
still
it
have some of the
online.
beers.
Yeah.
But it's funny talking about the whole meaning of life, but also Huck gave me such a wonderful response to our failed version of it. I think I'm going to still have to repeatedly refer to things like, here's a reason not to kill yourself.
And that's fine.
And one of the upcoming things I have not to kill myself. is because Gun Hill Brewing is doing their barrel aged fest again. They
Oh,
are no longer in the
fantastic.
Bronx, but they have taken over the Big Alice Barrel Room space, which I think is maybe an even better space for such an event. And I'm looking forward to doing that on January 18th.
Oh, wow. Coming up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's I don't know when this is when depending on how disciplined our editor is after this long break, this may come out shortly before that, might come out shortly after that. So either go do it or fuck, sorry you missed it. Well, whichever that is, I'll put whichever version I have on there, depending on whether
Right.
this comes out before the 18th or not.
Check with the Beer Wonder and see if he's available.
We've
I already did,
discussed
and
this,
he's not.
unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah, unfortunately, the
I
grown-up
got the
job that I
lacing on my alt beer. That's
the
not bad.
grown-up job I have makes me
It's all right. I'm
look
not going
sad.
to kill myself or anything.
No,
Right now, it
goodness.
looks like Belgian Babe might be
We
able to
need to
join me.
have a talk with the captain. I mean, you just bought 65 beers. If you kill
68.
yourself, 60, who's going to drink those?
Well,
That
but
is
here's the
something
thing.
to
These are
hang
the
in
Huck,
there
Huck,
for.
Huck, what you know, you're just saying that because you know the real reason why I buy those beers. Every time I get a shipment of Tavor, that's because I eventually want to share it with my friends.
Oh,
yes.
hell yeah.
Well,
Well, I will leak
bringing
that
people together.
we are planning tentatively to come to New York City, hopefully in the month of May.
Wow,
Okay.
very exciting.
And that could be our next Beervengers.
Okay, I would happily hold off on Stoutapalooza until then. All these, because all my beers age so well. We could have a shared birthday party of myself and Cider Girl and Stoutapalooza, like all those, and your guys are back in New York, all combined. I would happily host something like that.
That sounds
we could
fantastic.
do that. But don't hold off if you want to do another one because you got so many beers. And what's great about having all the beers, I don't know if you feel this way, Captain. I think you do. It's a lot of fun to buy them.
Yeah.
To get the new ones into the house. I recently got a shipment from Hudson Valley Brewing out of New York. Great bottles. And I just recently got another shipment from Fox Farm out of Connecticut, another one of my favorites. And they were almost all 750 milliliter bottles of sours. And so I need to have a Stoutapalooza or a Sourpalooza here in Fresno.
A pucker party, one might say.
Pucker party. And I've been meeting so many people, again, the social aspect, the connection of meeting people that live nearby in the neighborhood. And so having a neighborhood party would be so fun because no one has to drive home. They live close enough to either walk or get an easy Uber home. And that's just cool people. So and a few Beervengers that we already know live in the neighborhood. So I hope to do that this year as well, soon. But actually, we're taking a trip in February. We're going to go to Argentina de Chile, which is going to be an amazing trip. And hopefully we'll get, and I was looking at maps the other day. Some of these cities have they have a lot of breweries.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Even though they're known for their wine in Chile and
Argentina.
Argentina.
They have wonderful Malbec. You got their Malbec in
Malbec
Argentina.
is where it's at down there. Yeah. But hopefully we'll hit at least one or two breweries, and I'll remember to take photos.
Well, on that, I know we've done a decent amount of travel, so I'd love to get some highlights from the captain on France.
Yeah,
we could go on forever about our travels, but I'd love to get some highlights.
What I think we should do is like, well, first of all, the other thing is like we've talked about like cities we're going to go to, other countries to go to. We will hopefully, our goal is before the end of the year to have another Beervengers vacation together.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We want to do that. But yeah, some recent ones that we've had. So I mentioned Hop and Frog. That was in Akron last May. I also. Oh, this is actually because you were just talking about Fox Farm, because Belgian Babe's brother was living in Rhinebeck for a while. So last summer at one point I went there. We did we explored the idea of how difficult it is to do bar hopping with Uber in a smaller town. Because we went to a bunch of different places, and it was oh man, there was one time when I was trying to get it, And while we were waiting for the Uber to get there, the Uber driver texted us and said,
Oh, God.
"Hey, if you just give me $20 cash, we're cool." And
God.
that's the crazy thing
God.
is,
Well,
he's
that
doing
keeps
this
it
on
perfect
his
for Uber.
proprietary software. I think the Uber people can see him typing this, but I'm like, yeah, sure. So he picks us up, pretends like he cancels a ride, and I give him $20, and that's how we got to Vosburg. Oh, but here's why I was talking about it. But the next day, right before we left, we went to another place there that he really liked, called Slow Fox Farm. So ever since I went to Slow Fox Farm, I thought of the regular Fox Farm as neurotypical Fox Farm, and Slow Fox Farm is neurodivergent Fox Farm.
I love it. I love it. Now,
But it
if
was
I
a cool
may,
brewery.
we are at a point in the show where we've had such a good show. I really think that it's just been perfect, and I really think that we're going to pick up and do another show soon. So maybe we should wrap things up.
I think that's a good idea. But yeah, so some of those things I talked about. I also went to France, saw some really great beer regions, primarily in Alsace, but we had some really interesting beers all over France. We can talk about that in the future. Anything? What about you, Beer Wonder?
I mean, I went to Morocco and dry country, but did try some beers while I was there. So,
okay.
yes, there are two beers that are brewed in Morocco, and I did get a chance to try both of them. But beer travel, I feel like beer travel, if we're talking about what's in and what's out, I think beer travel is in
Hell yeah.
2025. And we're leaving, and so let's get excited for more of that as the Beervengers work our way back into your podcast feed.
Yeah, and I went to Mexico and Canada this past year, so both great beer ventures, in addition to being just great trips. So there's lots to talk about, and San Jose,
Exactly.
if I
And
may.
and I think before we go, we should tell people, since we have such a 8 months of riches of reasons not to kill ourselves, or reasons we didn't kill ourselves until then,
Oh my God.
or meanings of life, however you want to put it. I would say that we'll talk about whatever we want to fucking talk about next time.
Yep.
However, if any of you
Mhm.
want to reach out to us and saying, like, we've given you a whole multiple choice just now of things we can talk about. If you say, I want to hear about Alsace, I want to hear about Morocco, I want to hear about whatever the fuck we just mentioned.
Calgary.
You can reach out to us on all the socials under the DMs. Hopefully we'll notice that. You can reach out to us at thebeervengers@gmail.com. If you have other ways, now that we've told you our names, you can stalk us at our home addresses.
Oh my God, please don't. You
We
also
hope
know
you
that
don't do
counties
that, but
where
but if you do that, we'll still be impressed with the effort.
no, that is accurate.
We haven't had any good stalkers in a while.
Yeah. It's
Is
like
that
you
what
don't
you're
love
looking
us
for,
anymore.
Mike?
I know that the Beer Wonder has had stalkers in the past.
I have, yes. Anyway, well, that is the story for another episode of this
It's a
beer.
sexy
I think so, yeah.
MFer.
If you want to keep up with us, though, where should you find us?
Well, all those things I just said, I think. Oh, I mean, it's supposed to. I told you the email address. There's, anytime you put @ in the Beervengers next to something, although don't fucking bother with that piece of shit Elon Musk. We're not even looking on our Twitter thing. He's not worth us canceling it. We're just a husk of a skeleton of the Beervengers floating around like a exploded Cybertruck in front of a Trump hotel.
Yeah, generally we really just are on the, and if I may say, the space of a wonderful man named Zuckerberg. So we're on the Zuckerbergs.
Yeah, I guess we should get on Blue Sky, shouldn't we? We should get on Blue Sky.
I'm very happy where the sky is blue. I think it's a good
Yeah,
time.
let's we'll start something there.
I will say we're on TikTok. We'll see if the TikTok ban happens. I don't think it will. We are on it. We haven't posted there, but maybe we'll start doing it again now that we're back.
I know.
But in the
All right.
meantime,
You know what?
you can
I
find
see-
our podcast at The Beervengers. Anytime you
Yes.
go at The Beervengers,
One word.
you're going to find us on all the sites. Thanks to the captain getting us out there, and thanks to everybody for listening. I think it's our best episode yet.
I think so. Yeah.
101 tries. I think we finally got it right.
We did.
Amazing.
All right,
Play us
Huck,
out.
play us out.
Oh, we're the Beervengers, Beervengers, Beervengers. We're the Beervengers.
But are we?
We are, I think. Therefore, never mind.